going to add some other things to this mix here. One of the hardest things to do is swing repeated notes. The other examples I was showing you, we had the valves working for us. But what if we have repeated notes as an example number 5? This is a tune called Ensemble-ishious. And you'll notice in the very first bar, we have those repeated F concerts. Right? So the way we make those swing is we need constant airflow, first of all, and the tongue is just used as a valve. So it should sound something like this. Right? So we don't want any space between those notes because it would sound like this. Right? And that sounds a little bit, kind of square, right? So all the notes have to be connected once again. Also, I want you to take a look at the 5th bar of this phrase, this ascending line. Here, we need constant airflow. We want to make sure we connect the notes, and once again, no space. So this isn't going into the 5th bar. Right, you don't hear any. No space. We're going to eliminate that from our psyche, okay, from now on, especially in jazz. All right, so I'm going to play this cue down for you one time, and then we're going to try playing it together, okay, and see how we do on this. This incorporates a lot of the things we've been talking about in a couple of new things, and there's a couple of other things in here we're going to discuss as well in a moment. 1, 2, 3. All right, you notice all those notes were very connected. You also notice we had a couple of new things added to this, a couple of inflections that we're going to talk about in just a minute. Now I want to play this together as a group. Take a look at this trumpets once again. If it's too high, just take it down an octave, okay? 2 bars. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. One of the tricks we can do on the trumpet and on the saxophone for repeated notes is to use some false fingerings. And it's cheating a little bit, but whatever. We got to make the music sound great. At this tempo, you don't really need to use it, but I'll demonstrate it at this tempo. So for your trumpet players, those F concerts, those G's on top of the staff, a false fingering for that is 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. I like to use 1 and 2. So this way I don't have to tongue one of the notes. I can have the valves working for me. 1, 2, So did you see what I did there? Or, now, that really might come into play if this was really fast. Let's say this tune was a fast tune, like it was like, right? Using those valves made that a lot easier than trying to go da-do-da-da-da-da and get your tongue moving that fast. On the saxophone, I believe you can use a palm key for something like this. It's a D on the alto saxophone. I don't play saxophone, but I've been informed that that can actually happen. So anyway, that's just some little tricks and things we can do to access the music a little bit better. All right, another thing we need to discuss, we can use example number 5 once again for this, is the length of the short notes. I know your band director may say, hey, play those notes short. But if the tempo was slower, the shorter note has to be longer than it is if it was faster. For instance, I'll play the notes extra short at this tempo we've been playing at, right? You can hear how funny this sounds. 1, 2, right, that sounds kind of corny, doesn't it, right? So at this tempo, the notes have to be a little bit fatter, right? Right, do that, right? So that's what we want to do. If this was was faster, then we can play them shorter. Right? Because we don't want to make those long at that tempo. It's going to sound lethargic. All right, now we're going to talk about a phrase that we commonly hear. Band directors will say, if the band is rushing, they'll say, hey, you have to lay back. Personally, I would like to eliminate that phrase from our musical language, because what that usually does is make the band drag, right? A lot of people say, well, Count Basie's band laid back. No, Count Basie's band didn't lay back. They played great time. Now, they would stretch phrases as a group, but that was a group decision. They're not dragging the time. The rhythm section is relentless. The rhythm section is going do, 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 do. We have to be playing with them. We have to be in time with them. The term laying back, we can use the example number 5 again, just the first bar. The Count Basie band might play a phrase like this, something like this. So I'll put the metronome on, and I'm going to tug on the time here is what I'm going to do. I back phrase that whole middle section, and then I landed the end of 4 where it was supposed to be. Because the drummer's not going to budge. If the drummer did that too, the band would get slower and slower as the chart went on, and eventually we would just stop. That wouldn't be good, right? So the term laying back doesn't mean drag. So we should just get rid of that. We play down the middle of the beat. The rhythm section is going to lay good time. We can tug at the beat a little bit. And even I'll play that in time, but I'll kind of just tug on the beat. Right, that's still in time, okay? So that's the kind of things we want to be thinking about when we're playing music, not dragging or rushing. We play down the middle of the beat and swing hard. I want you to take a look at example number 6 once again, and you'll notice from the first note into the second note, we have a little spill down. We haven't talked about these inflections yet. And in the next bar, we have a fall on the end of 1. Okay, these can be interpreted in a couple of different ways. At this tempo, I would choose to maybe use my half valve on my trumpet. That kind of sound. And on the fall as well. Right, you see how we do that? We take our valves and we put them halfway down. We keep blowing air. And that's how we make that sound. Saxophone, from that first note to the second note, could maybe use some keys, go. But on the trombones, obviously you use your slide. You go, bow, da, da, right? So I don't know what you do on the snare drum. Good luck. So that's how that should sound, that whole phrase. Okay, so why don't we try that together, right? Let's, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's how something like that should sound. Obviously, there's different ways we can do these things. For you trumpet players, if the falls are starting on higher notes, we have more room to fall. Right? And once again, the tempo will designate how fast this fall needs to be. 1, 2, 3. Right, that sounds kind of silly, right? The tempo designates the type of fall we're going to do. Tempo designates a lot of things in music. The note lengths, the type of phrasing we're going to be doing, how much of a triplet feel we put on things, how long falls and rips and things like that are. So it's a general rule of thumb in jazz music for sure. If you take a look at examples 5, 6, and 7, they're actually all part of one song, Ensemble-ishious. So why don't we as a group play this? Now we've talked about all this. Let's play that whole thing down as a group, okay? At this tempo. Here we go. 1, 2,